Hello, everybody. Where's... Oh, is it not in VR? Aha! There you go. I'm glad everybody's doing okay. Everybody is... I saw that you said that you woke up early. Me too. Christina, you have to leave for work in 15 minutes. Well, I'm sorry. All right, well, I guess no more time to delay. I guess we'll hop right into this episode. Also, I did get a notification. I mean, I don't know if I can pull it back up, but somebody did subscribe, and I really appreciate you. I think it was Natalie. Thank you. All right, let's see here. It's early in the morning for me. I normally wake up like 11, so like 3 more hours from now usually, but I tried my best. You guys all ready? Because I got the episode ready. Also, I've got chat. I'm live on Twitch as well, so if this does go out, then you can click the description and you can see the rest of it on Twitch. But I will try to restart the stream if it does go out. Just make sure everybody lets me know. Oof. Yeah, I just got over a sickness, so I feel you on that one. Which, as you know, I got sick twice in a row. Not fun. All right, let's get into it. We got quite a bit of time ahead of us.
얘나, 자.
저 한라봉이도 뭔가 낼 것 같은데.
뭐야? 참새. 아니 너 새를 보고 놀래.
이거 보고 있는 사람, 너 자랑하고 싶은 거 있으면 얼마든지 해. 나...
Shh. It's early in the morning. Okay.
괜찮아. 나는 제주도에 있어. 전혀 부럽지가 않아. 제주도에 왔습니다.
Of course it had to.
어떠냐? 왜 눈을 제대로 뜨고 있는 사람이 아무도 없죠?
난 제대로 뜨고 있지롱.
눈이 안 보이게.
아, 선글라스. 아, 오랜만이네요.
뭐가요?
제주도 가요.
아낀다 커버했어.
아낀다 커버했을 때 그때 왔어. 근데 그때는 차 타고 왔어. 아, 차 타고 뭐?
이거 차 타고
그때는 아마 비행기 탔었을 거예요.
비행기 탔어요?
야 확실히 근데
I love he's dancing in the background too.
뒤에 분수 소리야. 바다 소리 아직 안 들려.
소리.
아.
제주도 오면 뭐 하고 싶었던 거 있어요?
Same.
저는 해변가를 달리고 싶습니다.
대현이야.
아니요. 이거
Oh. Thank you.
늙음의 증표예요, 그게.
아, 맞아요. 늙으면
나이스로 그대로.
내가 하필이면
그럼 여기 계신 분들은 운전면허 없는 분이 계실 것 같아?
아니.
너 그렇게 나이 많다고
저희-
부럽하는 거 아니다?
저희 그룹에
사람이 서러워서 살겠니?
아니, 굳이 이름을 설명을 안 해도 그 늙음의 증표로 나이수로 딱딱딱.
Wait, how many of you guys have your driver's license? I'm watching you. I know I do. Oh, damn, I was gonna say, but I'm not old. But I am. It's fine. They're very bad for me. Is that from the video or do I have it? Let me double check. That's at 1080. But it might just be the stream. Go ahead and just try to refresh if your quality is low. Is 25 old? Apparently so. I don't know. I'm 26, so I'm still older than you, so I guess it makes me old.
딱.
자, 아까 말한 것처럼 그 나이 순대로 이렇게 차근차근히 올라가자면 우리 스트레이키즈의 정신적 지주, 우리 스트레이키즈의 리더를 맡고 있는
JYP 아들 이렇게 소개.
JYP 아들, 우찬, 황찬. 김포의 자랑, 우리 김포의 아들.
Awesome.
뭐 동네 잔치 아니?
Also, let me move this out of the way so I don't get distracted because I know I will. Like I said before, if anybody missed it, I'm streaming also on Twitch. So if the stream goes out, let me know. Just because I know sometimes we had some issues with the live stream. Yeah, but I am live on Twitch just in case anything goes out for you. But I will try to restart the stream if something does happen. Well, welcome, Sunshine, and also Golan. Okay, well, I'm not saying you win, but welcome, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it so far. And if the audio is too loud or too quiet, let me know.
우리 스테이의 귀염둥이 우리 리노. 리노 마이크.
There, with the blue hair, with the nice.
우리 스테이크에 연료 걱정 없고 그냥 먹을 걸 많이 먹네.
나 어느 정도 못 여섰네 이제.
참는 게 아니고 먹기만 하는 거야. 오늘 이쪽에서 2명이 운전하나요?
네, 여기서 2명이 운전할 거고 저는 한이가 꼭 제 차를 탔으면 좋겠어요.
아니요, 안 돼요.
여러분들 설명해 드릴게요. 여기 안전벨트 매세요 팀이랑 십자 드라이버 팀이 있어요.
Screwdriver?
그럼 둘이서 이거
네, 저희가 뭘 정해놨는데 안 알려줄 거예요. 누가 뭘 정했는지.
이게 창빈이 아닐까? 누가 봐도 알 것 같은데.
여러분들이 골라서 타시면 돼요.
골라서.
네,
이 중에
타시면 돼요.
익명이야, 익명. 그러니까 복불복이야. 그러니까 다 내 차 타고 싶은 거 알겠는데 어쩔 수가 없는 거지. 나눠서 탈 수밖에 없는 거야.
그럼 여기서 리노차 타고 싶은 사람 손.
트렁크에 타.
트렁크라도 형 차 탈래.
자 여기서 창빈이 차 타고 싶은 사람 손.
야, 용보가 사랑한다.
자, 그러면 어떻게 이거 정해야 되나요?
예, 제가 설명드릴게요. 저기 차가 보이시죠?
Oh, okay.
가위바위보로 해서 선착순으로 타자.
네, 그 세 명씩 정해서 알아서 오세요.
그 다음에 얘네 둘이 마지막으로 오는 거야.
안 내면 진 거 가위바위보. 오케이, 꼴찌. 안 내면 진 거 가위바위보.
No babies. Okay, no grandbabies, okay? Just
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
honestly, yeah, does not get old.
자, 순서대로 1번 렛츠고.
오케이, 자.
가방을 왜 들고?
이 안에 선글라스랑 그거 다 있어.
과연 저분은 무슨 차를 탈지.
나는 이리노의 취향을 완전히 알지. 리노 형!
Kia Optima?
믿을게!
Or Kia Sportage?
제발 리노 형이어라.
Yo,
황현진은
what is that?
조수석에 탄 한이의 차를.
What I'm saying?
차에서는 항상 앞자리에 타면 이 안전벨트.
아니면 아무도 타지 않은 빈 차를 선택할 것인가?
지금 느낌이 창빈이가 실패한 것 같은데.
Imagine if he kept walking. Like, everybody's like, oh, which car is he gonna pick? And he just walks in between them, takes a look at both of them, and then just keeps walking down the street. I would totally have done that. There he goes.
역시
I should have guessed.
고독을 즐깁니다.
It's because he wanted shotgun, huh?
창민이가 안전벨트인 것 같은데.
근데 창빈이 말투긴 하다. 안전벨트 매세요.
골라야 돼? 아이씨.
I literally do the same thing. I start rummaging.
이게 낫겠다.
Why did he show up like Michael Myers? Look at this.
이게 낫겠다.
What?
차는 검은색.
What the? Oh. Oh, you're at work? Right, the sound effect too. Well, I appreciate you watching even though you're at work. It means a lot that you showed up. Also, the sound effect, yeah, is definitely I don't know. I have to listen to it again. It's a jump scare, I guess.
차는 검은색이지.
리나 믿는다.
Winked.
내가 운전을 어떻게 할 줄 알고 그러는 걸까?
검은 차.
What car would I choose? Shoot, what is it? I think I don't remember. Was it a black or is it champagne-ish? It looks like gray or champagne. No, I would say gray. Okay, let's check the windows. I'm assuming they're both the exact same thing. Oh, okay. Where does it show that? Okay. Yeah, I'd have to go with the darker color. I mean, it could prove useful. You never know.
내가 운전을 어떻게 할 줄 알고
You want the white car?
검은 차는 헬카입니다. 헬카예요, 헬카.
간다.
Of course, of course.
야 그냥 주택길 그냥 타야 돼.
I love how you said you read my comment. Like, that is why I wanted to stream, is because as soon as I upload a video, like, no joke, I will literally finish uploading a video or start uploading a video and I'll just walk away and look at my phone like this until I start seeing comments. And I'll just sit there and refresh. I have notifications on for my comments too. You want the white car? Okay, well.
야 바로 타.
나 내 차례야?
아, 약간 파티온이 애매한데?
That is king behavior.
아 고민된다.
Yes.
이해나.
야
얘나, 일로
여기야
와라.
내가 봤을 때 여기가 쓸 일 있어.
이해나.
시끄러.
They're so loud.
일로 와라.
형님. 형님.
Okay, I did pick the right one.
형님.
See?
나이스.
CEO's car.
물리기 없기, 물리기 없기.
Full speed.
안녕하라.
Good move, good move.
야 여기 맛집이래요.
Oh, see?
저게
See? You guys thought I was lying. You guys thought I was lying. I have notifications. Yeah. I have notifications on.
정체를 밝히겠습니다. 이 친구가 바로
진짜 드라이버.
제가 안전벨트 매세요입니다.
무슨 형님은 확실히 뜻이 딱 느껴.
I can believe that he's wearing your
뭔
seatbelt.
뜻이에요?
제가 모든 씹어먹는 걸 좋아하잖아요.
아.
모든 씹자.
십자 드라이버.
씹자 드라이버.
Screwdriver. Finding Twitch. Whoa, it stopped. It stopped. Okay. Hold on. Twitch. Hold up, everybody. Hold up. Hold the phone. Damn it. I knew it. All right. Well, hold on. Let's go back up to here. I know, rip, honestly. See, that's the thing that sucks about live streams on YouTube is because like they just get taken down without any warning. Oh, I know it. Oh, okay. Whoa. Didn't mean to do that. Thank you for coming. I have to take this and copy it. Wait a minute. I could do this. The man, the myth, the Tuscan Burger. That took me so long to read, and I'm kind of ashamed. All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm not even logged in. What the heck? Ugh. Yeah, damn it. ignore me for a little bit while I get this done. Oh, mute, mute. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you logging into your Twitch so you can pop in. That was I knew that was gonna happen with YouTube, but I can try to appeal it. So hopefully we can get back up and running. Okay, so the link should be in the description still, right? Is it still working? Ms. Cookie Games. Awesome. Pink Masky, Mad Hatter, Natalie. Natalie, I knew that was you. It's in your username. I could stop the other one. Wait. You mean stop on YouTube? I hope that worked, because I've never used the reply feature. Yeah, I felt like I needed to clarify. Well, that's good. You can always clarify with me, because sometimes I don't pick up the smallest things, so it makes sense. I might just keep the stream going, but like leave it up on both ends, so that way if people are able to see or like still comment and stuff. So I guess I'll just move on. I'll type it. Move into Twitch. And then we can get it rolling. And it sucks because I can't upload it. Well, I can. I can upload it to YouTube. The whole darn thing. Just have to. It might not be in the best quality because it'll have to download from Twitch. I will chat in Twitch, but leave YouTube open and going. Let's see. I can't keep it on YouTube. Oh wait, well I can keep it on YouTube, but I can't stream it. Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at that. Phasey Cat Fazzy? Phasey Kate? Oh. Don't worry, I will try to upload the whole thing onto YouTube. Do not worry, everybody. I will remind you to follow. Don't forget to smash that like button. So I think YouTube is going to have the issue with it just being, you know, like, I think it's a black screen or however it works right now. What is it even saying? This is why the streams are difficult, but I definitely wanted to keep doing it. Yeah, I think it's just a black screen on YouTube. So. God.
저는 승민 씨가 저기 할 시끄러운 공간 정말 싫어하잖아요.
승민이랑 이엔이랑 딱 바꾸면 될 것 같아.
See, that's the energy that I would have totally wanted to be in. So I'm glad I picked the car that I did. Because, I mean, I'm a loud person. So, whatever. I picked the loud car.
승민이랑 예니 완전 좋죠. 방금 이엔이가 검은 차 타는 거 너무 좋아했거든요. 승민이가.
제가 이거도 그렇게 할 거예요.
제가 이겨도 지금
예.
할게요. 안 진다가 말고 승민이랑 이엔이를 바꾸겠습니다. 바꿀게요. 그리고 한번 바꿔 타볼까요 저희? 둘이? 저한테 상처만 남을 것 같은데요?
갑시다.
온다. 제가 이제 한번 와리가리 할 것 같거든.
Oh, no.
안녕하십니까?
문 열어!
They gave...
별줄 알았어.
Oh, shit. Hey, I appreciate everybody saying that I'm live on Twitch through YouTube because I'm definitely trying to keep that up, trying to type and all that. But don't worry, the video will be on YouTube. I will try to take the stream and upload it to YouTube.
안녕하십니까?
화이팅해라! 화이팅해! 야 안전벨트는 세우잖아. 오케이. 리우 형, 형 승민이 글로 보낼게.
이제 바꿔야지 이제.
이엔이랑 승민이 바꿔. 바꿔야 돼.
아까 우리가 가위바위보 해가지고 멤버 한 명 바꿀 수 있다 그래서 승민이가 시끄러운 팀을 너무 싫어하더라고.
우리가 가위바위보해서 멤버 한 명.
Oh, no.
이엔이랑 승민이 바꾸려고. 야 이엔아 넘어와. 가. 이엔아.
야 승민아 일로 와라.
최악이에요.
The deceit, honestly.
너 참비랑 같이 타고 싶어? This is hell car.
Hellcar, yeah. New name for my car.
아닌데?
수영도 하나요 저희?
형 이제 바꿀까?
그래 원래대로 가자.
뭐야?
여러분들 미안해요 구라예요.
뭐야?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
뭐야?
안녕.
안녕. 안녕.
I was excited for the Hellcar. He almost slipped.
빨리 형 앞에 문 닫고 빨리 타요. 이게 운전자한테 그런 식으로 애정을
Oh, it's just drift past him.
나 태워 가지. 나 태워 가야지. 나 태워 가야지. 얘들아.
Oh no. Look at that. Got the Lamborghinis on.
야, 나 태워 가야지.
뭔데?
미안. 나 태워 가. 나 태워 가. 야, 하나. 걸어오고 싶다며. 걸어오고 싶은 거 아니었어? 역시 차가 짱이야. 차가 짱이지.
미션 있어요.
Just put your thumb out on the side of the road and wait for the next person to come and pick you up.
미션.
미션.
We have a mission.
우리 약간 일정을. 한이가 한번 읽어줄래?
오케이.
넌 무슨 미션이지?
스케이트 코드 슬기로운 제주 생활편 1박 2일의 시간 동안
During your
몸도
2-day
마음도
stay,
재미있게
please
즐겁게
play to your
놀아주세요.
body and
단
heart's
아래의
content.
일정만 꼭 해주시면 됩니다. 첫째 날 일정 제주 음식 먹기, 수영장에서 놀기, 바베큐 하면서 신나게 놀기.
하루를 마무리하면 셀프 영상 일기 쓰기.
야 마지막 거 빼고 다 괜찮다. 둘째 날 일정
Oh wait, we're not allowed to know?
진짜로? 와 진짜?
자 제주 액티비티 즐기기.
He's just
세 번째,
running, he's a
노을
track
지는
star.
제주와 바다를 보며 감상에 젖기.
와우.
예 감상.
미션 그럼 그걸로 끝인가? 예스. 오늘은 진짜 힐링 온것 같은데 진짜 완전 힐링인데 이번에?
밥부터 먹으러 갑시다.
안전벨트 매셨죠 다?
야.
갑니다.
가자.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
자, 여기서 이제 그냥 쭉 가면 돼요. 쭉.
아예 해안도로
It's
끝이 나.
karaoke.
쭉 가면 돼요.
Going all in.
나
Let's go, baby.
지금 어떻게 마지막 곡이거든 벌써? 와 이거 진짜 명령이다. 와 이거 뭐야?
What? I got a notification finally. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's review the issue. Stray Kids Code Finale live stream has been removed. This is just a warning. If it happens again, your channel will get a strike. Oh, ads. Just got 7 ads. Oh my god. Hold on. How do I turn those off? Okay, hold on. This is more important. There needs to be no ads. Hold on. I can change it here. Ah, I appealed it. But we all know that Twitch or not Twitch. We all know that YouTube is not gonna go for it. I thought I have ad break set. Or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Ah, dashboard. Okay. Stream manager. There we go. At least I got a Diablo ad. Guys, I'm sorry about the ads, okay? I have to eat. I'm just kidding. Ah, I think I figured it out. Okay, maybe not. Here, let me go back up to this. I wish I had one of my moderators. Well, hold on. Okay, I'm fixing the ad issue, okay? Hold on. But I wish I had one of my moderators here, because I don't know how to do any of these ad things. Create their dashboard. Content. No. Settings. Does anybody know how to change the ads? Because I don't. Add banners. Oh wait, did I figure it out? Clip that. Stream info. No. Raid. Manage goals. Manage poll. Yo. Streaming tools? Because this is uninterruptible content, okay? Stream settings? Ah. I barely know how to use Twitch. I only got it for a few YouTubers and I like this. There's a zoo. Huh. Very interesting. Yo. Copyright claims, yeah. Can I change the rewards? Yo, what? Can I not change the ad thing? Roles manager activity? Activity? Nope. Content? I am. This is why the streams are. This is why I don't really do streams. Okay. It's literally why. Because there's so many issues when I stream, unless I'm just playing Tarkov, because then it's just me looking at the loading screen. Yeah, Twitch ain't my territory. I come back for Granny, Julian, or Steven as I'm newly discovered. Hey, this is great. Remind me later. I don't want you. Pre-roll off. What is it? Yeah, I used to try to figure everything out on Twitch, but nope, I stopped because I wanted to just focus on YouTube. I think I could. Is pre-roll off? What is that? But for subs, it should be there should be no ads. That's the one thing that threw me off for sure. Moderation? No, that's mods. No, because I've heard people have it to where it's like not set that way. Like I know people can change it to like sub only chat and stuff like that. Quite possibly. We can only hope this works. Oh, whoa, not that. Jeopardy music. Listen. Okay. Yeah, I've literally browsed all of the settings here. So it should be ready. Quick actions. Very cool. Okay, I guess if more ads pop up, then just let me know so I can just type or something if you can. Just let me know because then I'll pause. Because I don't want to waste any more of your time.
와 바다 좋다. 야 미쳤다. 나온다.
But if somebody does figure it out and can let me know where to go, just type in chat and let me know so I can fix that. So I can turn off the ad, the sub only stuff.
사랑한다 바다야.
바다 색깔이 에메랄드 빛깔 딱 그거야. 와 너무 이쁜데?
야 하품하는 거야? 감탄하는 거야?
얘는 하품.
Yeah.
얘들아
오케이.
좀 고백할 게 있다.
Oh no.
형 연애한다. 오케이 누구랑? 바다랑.
Me too. I love you, C. Christina. Thank you. Go off.
아주 그냥 고음이 빡빡 뚫리네. 아 진짜 이거 여행용 노래다.
야 날씨는 이런 데 들으니까 되게
Yeah.
좋다.
See that?
야 근데 오늘 진짜 하늘도 너무 예뻐.
날씨가
300m 앞이라는데?
저기 보이지?
Okay. I like that in the back. Let me hear that again.
날씨가
300m 앞이라는데?
저기 보이지?
Woo. I love how I'm like excited about the vocals when they're singers. Wait, what?
안녕하세요. 야 뭐야 뷰 뭐야. 우와 야 뷰. 우리만의
I'd love to see the view, but it's all white balanced.
아니야?
너무 깨끗해 그리고.
풀린 기분이야.
제주도는 사랑입니다. 제주 내 맘 훔친
Yeah, I've only seen the shows.
그리고 제주도는 맛있는 게 너무 많아.
맞아. 미쳤어.
그냥 모든 맛있어 그냥.
Very minimum music.
우와.
No, I will say so far one of my favorite songs is Behind the Light. Just that's just me. He has some crazy vocals. Yeah.
갈치 아니야? 우와. 저 갈치지. 야, 뒤에 딱 세워 봐. 우와.
Hipster. Shut up. It popped up
대장이네.
when I was listening to Spotify.
기지 기. 여러분 기 드세요 기.
아따. 이건 뭐예요?
Very nice.
머리가
잘 먹겠습니다.
전복부터 먹어봐야겠다.
God, that looks so good.
조림이 나온대. 맛있게 먹어볼까? 와 전복 진짜 맛있다. 야 딱새우부터 먼저 한.
I never learn my lesson. I always watch this when I'm hungry. I've been awake for about an hour. Okay, I literally got out of bed, like started setting up my lights and everything, and then started streaming. Ah,
한입 갈게요.
Damn
야 이거 미쳤구나.
자 일단
This is nuts.
장을 좀 적셔줘야 돼.
bring snacks. I know I should have, but I also don't want to. I don't want to eat in the microphone. It's like it's not very good etiquette, right? They always eat so much in these. Honestly, yeah, they get little like snacks and just like on the side of their videos.
뭐가 고기야? 전복인데? 어떻게 하면 좀티 같았어?
Some ASMR. I can't do ASMR. At least not listen to it.
소스를 잘 바르네.
야 이거 미쳤구나.
You saw what happened last time. Now I'm just getting all weirded out about it. Yeah, me too.
야 이거 너무 달아. 뭐야? 와 이거 갈치 조림입니까?
생이
Braised cutlass.
와 진짜 맛있다. 야 진짜 맛있다. 딱새우 너무 맛있어.
내가 발라줘? 내가 발라줘?
다를 줄 안다.
Avid fan. Can't say I would be.
맛있어.
A silent mukbang.
계속 해야 될 것 같은데 왜 이렇게 어떻게 해야 되지? 나 왜 이렇게 불안하냐 말을 안 하니까 카메라 많은데. 그러니까.
오 마이 갓.
네.
근데 우리
어디?
Oh no. Oh no.
수수 들어갑니다.
Not the red sauce. Ah, surgeon.
땡큐. 내장 내가 먹어야지.
배 터질 것 같아. 배 터질 것 같아요. 량 보고
Eat
얼마
good.
먹을 줄 알았는데 계속 들어가. 너무 맛있어.
아 근데 이 좋은 걸, 이 좋은 행복을 우리만 이렇게 느낄 수 없잖아요, 그죠?
거의 뭐 한 2년 넘짓 동안 비행기도
We couldn't get on flights for about 2 years.
타고 그러다가 어느 순간 끝이 나고 이렇게 오니까 다르다 뭔가 진짜
그러니까.
기분이 다르다.
Ugh.
맞습니다, 스테이. 이제 한국으로 오실 시간이에요. 네? 여기 와서 저희처럼 이렇게 맛있는 것도 먹고 좋은 풍경도 감상하고 저희가 느껴봤던 그런 느낌을
Oh man, if I could, I would love to. Oh, that'd be so sick. Let's see. It helped me with a lot of anxiety and insomnia way back then. Oh, that's cool how it helps. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't freak me out. They do advertisements so well, right? It just pops out of nowhere. Hey, don't forget to come to Korea. But yeah, no. I don't know how to describe anything, but it's just like as soon as I hear ASMR, it just like feels like somebody's touching my neck, and I just want to I can't run away, so I'm like sucking my body down into my shoulders. Pay for my ticket and housing. Good idea. Good idea. Hit me up, boys. I don't like the saliva in your mouth.
진짜 그대로 전달해주고 싶을 정도로 너무너무 행복해요. 그동안 쌓여 있었던 모든 스트레스가 진짜로 풀리는 느낌이야. 아 그냥 이건 진짜로 내 마음인데 진짜로 풀리는 느낌이야.
힐링 타임이야.
우리 해외 스테이가 이런 거 다 와봤으면 좋겠다. 우체국으로. 나 왔으면 좋겠어.
Wait, if they said if they could go overseas, yes, stay overseas, could visit each island. Right? Seeing people whispering in my ear. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it's a natural habit for me. Like whenever I'm playing Call of Duty, I always just grab my microphone and just like scream into it when I'm talking to my friends, just hopefully peaking their headset audio because I don't have to hear it, so it's fine. I did live in Japan for a couple of years, and I'd love to go to Australia. No, but there's a lot of misconceptions about it, but there's a large impact when it comes to a person's pet peeves and sensitivity. Yes, it's not my thing, but I did think about doing a video because I don't like it, so I thought about doing a video of me reacting to it. If you want that to happen, let me know. As I don't want to, but it'd be funny. It won't lie.
나 왔으면 좋겠어. 여러분들 다 와주세요.
Even for United States, everywhere all around the world,
Getting paid
COVID has settled down a lot. It is really okay for everyone to.
Yes. Speak to me, you Australian king. Let me hear that again.
다 와주세요.
Even for
I listen to
United
thunder.
States, everywhere all around the world, COVID has settled down a lot. It is really okay for everyone to go out and just really feel the fresh air. If you guys ever get the chance, take a plane,
Take a
take
plane.
ship ride, get in the car, go anywhere you want.
Holiday.
And if you guys ever get the chance, come here, enjoy the view, enjoy the food, enjoy the whole life experience because it's such a
Chasing
great
cars.
place.
Ah,
We are having
get
so
it?
much fun too. Travel to Korea begins again.
Very nice.
야, 다들 좀 어느 정도 먹었나?
나 아메리카노 먹고 싶어.
Stray Kids ASMR. Maybe.
와 너무.
네 여러분 노래들 기다리셨어요.
At least it wouldn't be some random person, you know? At least it would be like, I'm well aware of who these people are. It's not just like clicking a random video of somebody like crinkling the microphone or doing all the weird stuff that, like, yeah. Yuck.
우리 스트레이키즈의 전통 카드 몰아주기가 아니고
이거 말한 사람이 걸리는 거 알죠?
가해 보여.
야 커피는 진짜 찐 예카로하고 스태프분들 전원.
분들 전원 감독님들 포함 검증 좀 하시고.
가.
야 이거 진짜
저희 지금 몇 명 있어요? 감독님들 다 눈웃음하고 있어.
몇 명 있어요? 뭐다 앞에서? 오케이 야해 개카.
야 짜증나 하다.
이건 할만하잖아. 할만하다. 잠깐. 나 지금 시내 가오를 받았어. 저못 볼까요?
It's only a few coffees.
오케이. 안 내면 진 거 가위바위보.
Oh God, the tragedy begins.
야 한이가 빠졌다니. 와 진짜.
저 감독님만 믿어요. 네. 야 제작진분들 40분 계십니다. 40분.
Oh.
안 내면 진 거 가위바위보. 가위바위보.
Aw. Wait a minute. Look at the delay when he does it, okay? Watch.
가위바위보.
Rock. Oh, okay, no, I guess there's not really much of a delay. Okay, I'm just gonna drink my coffee now. I remember when I was a kid and I would play rock, paper, scissors with somebody, I would always do like, the fist. So if I see that they're going for rock and like by the time my hand gets like stops moving, I'd always just go like that. And I'm like, ah, gotcha. But as you get older, people have better reflexes.
형님 저랑 같이 얘기 좀 해볼까요?
야 너무 배부른데? 너무 배불러.
진짜 심장이.
Oh, God, I want to be full with all that food. 40 people.
오
Yeah.
좋네.
하나, 둘, 셋.
자기야 내 자기들하고 찍어줘.
현지가 오케이 좋아. 하나, 둘, 셋. 이현아 들어와.
나?
들어.
오늘부터야?
하나, 둘, 셋. 둘, 셋. 됐어.
See, they didn't say he couldn't buy coffee and make it for them. Hmm? They didn't, or they didn't say he couldn't do that. Hmm? Bang, not done eating.
진짜 막나보다 밑에 돌이 다 보여.
돌이 되고 싶어.
Oh, that was the best thing about Japan.
다음 생을 태어나면 돌로 태어날래.
그럼 아마 넌 저기 있겠네.
다른 돌 친구들이랑 같이 붙어 있어.
Across the street from the beach.
안 외로워 보이네 돌들이.
Oh,
안 외로.
he's a rich 5-year-old. He's 5. Men tend to go for rock first. Okay. Good to know.
보이는데.
근데 진짜 돌담집이다 돌담집.
The buyer of 40 coffees. The ocean breeze. Yeah, I feel you. I could do that all day. Yeah. Sponsored by Korea Tourism Organization. Hey, KTO, longtime fan. Listen, if you want to sponsor me and a couple of my viewers to go to Korea, let me know. That'd be sick. This winter is so rough this year. I love winter. I love snow, and I don't know why. I was born in Arizona, like hot ass dry desert Arizona, but I just love snow. Also, I love psychology. I'm not good at it, but I like to learn.
가보자.
Yeah.
야, 저거 열매 있어, 열매.
잘 나온다잉. 하나, 둘, 셋. 하나, 둘, 셋.
More pictures.
더 맞짝다 돼. 더 맞짝다.
그거 무슨 일이야? 야, 원래 요즘 이렇게 나와요.
교관은 여러분들이 아주 가장 중요시합니다.
Look at that shirt. Look at all buff.
아, 오케이.
Whoa. Settle down now. Okay, see, it says next week. I don't know who next week is. Well, there we go. Remind me later. All right, before it goes on to the next one. Muddy Water soundtrack. Gotta spread the love and support. Cool. Love that, man, bro. Oh, the fishing trip. Why the fishing trip? Wait a minute, what? We just suspiciously travel back in time. Oh man. Gotta bring the party. Life of the party for sure. Oh, for anybody that wasn't here, by the way, I will be after this, I'm gonna end the stream, but then I'm gonna start another one again, like immediately after. Just so I can play some video games. You can watch on YouTube, do all that fun jazz. Well, it'll be on both Twitch and YouTube, but I'm just gonna be playing some, just chilling, hanging out, and playing some indie horror games, hopefully, and then we'll be going on to Call of Duty. Look at this! What is going on? You guys are wild. The little party, yes. And the follow. Let's go. You guys are killing it today. What the heck? Let's get some love in the chat. I'm really bad at typing. I'm sorry. Oh, man. I love this. This is so great. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna probably stream again. It's been like 3 hours, and I'm gonna stream again. I'm just gonna start another one. I suck at knowing how to use a sub but cool. I don't either. I don't know how to do it either. I usually just sit through the ads like Natalie did. Like I don't know if it benefits like what happens for like using it, just an ad exemption for the future month. Ooh, that's look at that, the holiday cheer. Or should we call it the Han holiday cheer? Yes, Natalie, you've fought well. You fought hard. But don't worry, if you want to tune into the next one, it won't probably not even be an hour till the next one. Just because after this stream, I was going to play video games anyways, but I just got to eat. Schisma spirit. Yup. There we go. That's what it is. It's just that pure energy, pure joy. And then later I will be finishing the last two. I know I had some cookies, but it's not enough. I've Yeah, very nice. And then I will have to pull up my in the next stream. I'll have to pull up my all my Call of Duty information so you guys can add me. We can play some random custom games or just multiplayer or Warzone or multiplayer, whatever you guys want to play. Time zones are so hard to manage. Yes, they are. Follow a guy from Bulgaria, so his 7 at night is my 9 in the morning. Oh. Honestly, yeah. Like if you're watching Netflix or something and you're just sitting there browsing. Oh, well, what other games do you have? Because we could play whatever. Also, the Discord. Oh, shoot. I have a Discord as well. If you guys are down to jump in there, we can all just hang out and talk. Most of the time, it's just two of my friends that are chilling in the group chat, which they are right now. Which I might have to put them in a private one. But it's the open channel, but I might have to make a private one for them. Okay, I'm gonna wow. I will link the server. Yes, yes. Boom. Right there for your faces. Never mind. Discord and YouTube did not want to let me throw it in there. But it is just StevenCentral. I mean, if you can hop in through that, I don't know if that's how it works. I'm pretty sure you have to have an invite. Here, I'll put it in the description after this. Actually, can I do that now? Can I do that? Let me copy this. And then, oops. I only slept 2 hours last night and I'm very sick, so I'll try to stay up for as long as I can. I'll probably miss the other Stray Kids coaching. Hey, it's going to be uploaded either way. Put it in your about section. Yeah, I'm going to put it in the description of this stream. But I think I can't link it because YouTube and Twitch have like their separate settings, but then I'm going through a third party streaming. So it won't let me link or put links in the chat. But Natalie, you better get some sleep. Go get some food, water, and rest up. I'm going on 2 hours of sleep. You're crazy. I mean, I do it too, but I'm crazy, so. Let's pop in here real quick. Oh, we can go through the lives. There we go. Okay, so in the announcement video, I'm gonna remove the countdown. Discord. It also should have been in my links, my link tree thing. Oops. All right, it's in the Stray Kids Code live stream announcement video. So just refresh it if you're already on it, or go true that. But yeah, that's where it should be. Yeah. Yeah, you can rest now. It's like that scene in Avengers. I don't want to say anything because I don't know if everybody's seen it. All right, but it's been years. Okay, so you have no excuse. But yeah, pretty much just get to chill now. But you're in. Welcome. I'm gonna just crack my knuckles. Sun's getting real low, big guy. Oh no, my green is fading. Welcome, welcome. Ms. Cookie, welcome. Hello. Just slid into the server. Look at you. I'm trying to find it currently. Got in. Trying to find what? The link to the Discord? It's in the. If you go to my channel, my YouTube channel, and oh, I guess I could put in the menacing addition to the welcome message. Yes. Just, but it's in the. If you go to my YouTube channel and then go to the description, it should be either in the links where it says, my store, my socials and all that stuff. It should be in there. But if not, it's right above that in my It's All Coming to an End Stray Kids Code video. I'm checking my link tree right now. See if it's in there. Okay, well, it's not in my link tree. But it's in the description of my recent video on YouTube. Heck yeah. I got it. I'm in. He's hacking the servers. He's hacking the servers. Hell yeah. Look at everybody popping in. Oh, look. There he is. There's my little dude. My little pangy. He's hacking into the main servers. What is that? What is that? Oh, Lord. All the servers are belong to us now. It's not mine, but I wish it was. I would totally. If I had a little anarchy, yes. If I had a little what's it called? Animation of like a little chibi version of me throwing hearts, I totally would have made that, but I can't. I don't know how. Oh, let me go create channel. New channel. Is it a private channel? Yes. Add members or roles? Oh, that's how you do it. Okay. Bada binks. Bada boonks. Wait. I don't know if I've skip. Let's skip it. All right, everybody. I'm gonna end the stream here, but um, I'm gonna end the stream here, but I'm gonna take a quick, like maybe 30-minute break, and then go get some food, and I will be right back to play some more video games. So feel free to chill out for a bit. Also, and Natalie, go get some rest. Go get some food. Everybody, go get some food. You know it's my thing. Go get some food. Go grab yourself some snack. I'll pop in later. Gotta wake up properly. Do my morning games. Yep, literally. I will go eat. Okay. I'm about to go have some freaking some soy sauce. Was it shoyu chicken ramen? Okay. So that I have my plan, my game set. Yeah, yeah. See, everybody, go get that self care in. Go take care of yourself. Get uh, some food, some care. Shit, I gotta wash my face. To be honest, I gotta. I'm growing for the short film. I have to grow out my facial hair and be all scraggly, so I can't trim this up yet. But we're getting there. It is not too long. This has been super fun, though. I'm so glad I did it. Might have to definitely do more of this. I had to shave all mine off. Well, see, it would be nice, but I'm trying to like trim it down because it's just so awkward. Like I don't have anything up top. It's just down on the bottom, and it's patchy. I normally shave mine off. Pink, glad I could be a part of it. I'm glad you could be a part of it too. This is definitely it was a strain. Yes, and it's been super nice to meet everybody. It's been awesome. This is what I wanted to do. Glad I'm female and don't have beard problems. Yeah. Well, I have a straight, or not a straight razor, a safety razor, so I can get some nice close up shave and just be all smooth. But I got a whole routine that I got to go through, so I can't do that quick. Yeah, it's been so great. That's why I wanted to do this, because it's been so nice to like just be able to hang out and talk to everybody. And like all the videos, I normally just talk to myself, except for the 32 ads. I'm so sorry. I'll definitely fix that. When I worked as where I had to learn how to care for beards. Ah. Um. Well, then you know my struggle. And I had no training. I watched a YouTube video on how to do it, and I watched an old Irish guy do it. He showed me how to shave. Drink your water and have fun every moment you get the chance. Yeah, look at that. Always. With spaced out letters. ALWAYAAYS. Yeah, I don't know. He was showing me how to use a safety razor. It was hate learning how to do straight razor shaves. Yeah, I guarantee it's probably harder to do it on somebody else than it is to do it on yourself, because way scarier to do it on somebody else. An icon in his own right. Yes, yes, yes. All right. You get all your stuff done. Go everybody get your self-care in. They were relaxing for my clients, though. Some fall asleep while I shaved them. Yeah, see, for me, it was nice because I had the hot towel on my face and I was getting ready to freaking fall asleep. Well, you better be back, hopefully, later, hopefully, because you said you wanted to play games. So that's what we'll do. All right, everybody. Love you, and I'll leave you. Mwah. Thank you for sticking around through the stream. All the stress, all the fun, all the stuff. Thank you for all the follows and the subscriptions and all the gifting and all the love, all that kind of stuff here on Twitch. Sorry it did not work out on YouTube, but it's still been worth it. I'll see you all later. Love yous. I'll leave yous. Peace. I didn't do it. What do I normally do? It's just peace. The YouTube party. You'd be party popping. Yeah. Party pooping. On it. Party pooping. I can't read. I'm also probably dyslexic. I just don't read it. I will always thank you guys no matter what. Oh my god, that scared me. Oh,
Kirstina cheered. X300.
I didn't. What is that? What was you? We just spoke. Hello? Who are you? God? Is that you? Yeah, I appreciate it though. Thank you for 300. I think that's what it said. Stay great, eat grapes, and always celebrate. Have fun, guys, and see you in a little bit. I love that. That's funny. All right, everybody. Siri. Was this Siri? It couldn't have been Siri. God damn it. Siri's creepy sister. Miri. Ooh. She would have one, yeah. I also don't have like an end screen, so I'm just waiting for everybody to get their love in. But I'll see y'all in the next video. Or stream, whichever one comes first, second, third, or last. Tweary, since it sounds like Twitch. That's usually how I go. Yeah, I usually sit here to be last, but I also don't want it to cut out you guys like while you're talking, so I'm gonna I don't know, do something. Okay, for real ending it this time though. You got 5 seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Psych! I'm just kidding.